what do you mean by exception? First of all, exception means any situation where the transaction processing may fail. Some of the situations we can identify, some of the situations we may not be able to identify. So anywhere you think there may be a situation, there can be a processing issue that can happen, you can go ahead and handle the exceptions. Okay. So if you go ahead and see here, just simple example I'll show you first of all. Let me create an activity. Create and open. So method is equal to simply property set. So I'm writing property set here just to show you. I'll make it utility also. I'll take it into workflow so that you'll better understand. Property set, and here let's say one property I will add. True. Billing shipping address name equal to true. This is one property set. So I'll add another property set. Just above this I'll add. This is another property set. Property set. And here the property set I'm going to choose dot customer results dot age. Age is equal to, let's say, some value I'm assigning, maybe referencing something from service call. You will return some values, whatever it is. Let me give 5 divided by 0 simply. So this is an exception situation, right? This is an exception situation. Now exception handling can be done using activity at the jump. If you click on the jump, you have to enable the condition. Enable condition after this action, and step status will fail. Step status fail. If true, continuance. Let's see. So on exception, jump to latest step label L1. I have given on exception, it has to jump to the label L1. I have given something L1. I don't know what is L1 as of now. Let's see. And then submit this. And here you go. I'm adding another step, third step, where it says L1. This is the way to jump to the steps by giving the labels. Login button, minimize data. So here I'm going to do log message. Login double click. Log message. I want to write some message. This is activity exception something. Activity on exception. Just to understand, better understand. And here I'm giving log level settings. Every time I start చేయాలి login అవ్వాలి. ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా క్లోజ్ చేయకూడదు. లాగౌట్ అయ్యి క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. షట్ డౌన్ చేయాలి. షట్ డౌన్ చేస్తే ఇది క్లోజ్ అయ్యాలి. వెయిట్ చేయాలి. ఇష్యూస్ ఉంటే నాకు చెప్పండి. ఓకే. Info forced. So here you go. I will talk about all these parameters. Okay. Now save this activity. I am going to then wrong ichchanu. Info forced. Spelling wrong. ఏంటండి? క్లోజ్ అయ్యింది. లాగిన్ స్క్రీన్ మీరు క్లోజ్ చేయాలి. ఇది మిగతా క్లోజ్. Info forced. Okay, save this. Just go ahead and save this. Which flow shape we need? Okay. This one is into the exception log flow. activity I have called here. So if I run this flow, during the execution of the activity, exception will happen, right? Tracer. Tracer, you see? Oh, chala unnai ikkada. Wait cheyandi. Give me 1 minute. I will change the settings in the tracer. I will select only my rule sets. See, look at here. Your step 1 is executed. After that, step 2 is executed. Step 2 executed. That is part of my business processing. But I just ignored actual business processing and jumped to another step where I am doing logging. So log messages I have done. So it is an exception situation. Similar, just as an example I am showing. Similarly, if you face any exceptions, you can handle the exceptions like this. So remaining execution you can stop and you can proceed forward to execute the another step where generally we do log messages. See, what is the purpose of logging? Logging purpose is just a tracking purpose which will be written to some text files in the background on the server. So next time customer is going to take the work update, this work update when I am doing, I am facing an issue. So as a production support resource, you have to go to log files and verify the log files. What is the issue? Because you cannot execute and again see. That is not possible. So now run the flow and see. Now go to log files and see the message logged. Just is a basic understanding. Let's go to log files. I'll give you the navigation to go to log files. Designer Studio. Logs. System operations. Logs. So here log files. Open the log files. So you have to go to log files of Pega. P-E-G-A. Pega. Click on that Pega log files. You'll see login. Now here, see, this is what I have written. This is an activity own exception. If I do not do my own logging, also PRPC will do logging, like arithmetic exception divided by 0 something. That is OTB logging. I won't write my own. See, PRPC logging will be always depends on the log level settings that you have done. So there are different log level settings. Let's understand about log levels. Now your exception situation has been handled to not proceed further in the execution, and I jump to somewhere else, and there you have done logging. And you can add more methods like show harness one activity is there. You call and display harness. Harness will be displayed to users. What will be the message there? Please call our customer care on this number. There is some processing issue. You can display a generic message instead of errors to the customers. Now, so going back to this one, you look at here, log level settings is there. So you click on this log level settings. See, it is asking the logger name. Click the down arrow, there are a number of fields will be available here. But we are not required to bother about all these fields. And let me take one and choose the levels. So by default, PRPC logging will have an info. What do you mean by info? You can tell me. PRPC internal design will have a log level of info means just a basic information about something, error message. That's it. See, one, what does that mean? Warning messages you see, right? That will also be, that level of messages also will be logged there in the log files. Alert means it's a different log files. Look at here, I will explain you, I will show you alerts. Alert logs. See what is there in the alert logs, you can tell me. Looking at this, you can tell me what is there in the alert logs. I will just move here. అర్థం కావట్లేదా మీకు? సరే నేనే చెప్తాను, మీకు అర్థం కావట్లేదు పర్వాలేదు. See, alert logs will hold the queries, DB queries that are running. So suppose you find a database issue, what is the query that is executing? You want to see which logs you will go? Alert logs. If you give alert logs, alert level of queries also will be logged. Now other than that, there are main things which we need to know, not everything. So the next one is debug. What do you mean by debug? If I choose debug level of logging will be done. See, this is giving a message. See, this level of logger assembly avoid performance has been changed from error to debug. Okay. Let this go. Tell me what is debug. Looking at the name debug, you tell me what level of logging will be done. What kind of data will be available in the log files? Error will be logged whenever you go through info also. Info will do error. Japani. Step by step execution. See, whatever that you see, debug level means tracer level, what you see, that level of logging will be done. Is it recommended to go for debug? Should we have to go to debug level, or it is not required? It should not be recommended. Is it recommended or not recommended? Chapandi. Why it is not recommended? Huh? Not because it is already there. When I cannot open the tracer in production. I'll change it to debug level and see. Suppose development, I cannot open the tracer, suppose, which will cause hanging of this one. I will go to debug level and see in the tracer whatever that is coming in the log files in the backend, but it is not recommended. Why? Space issue. If you go ahead and do write tracer level of data in the log files, what will happen? Space issue. So debug will not generally go for. So it's minute level issues also will be coming in the debug level. Just once or twice you keep it and then leave it back, remove it like this. So other than this, the one which I have written is not there in the drop down itself. Info forced. See, I changed the spelling previously, right? So it is giving. You mention either debug, info, warn, error, or info forced. So it is not asked. If I change the spelling, it is showing something like that. So info forced means you are going to manually write something into log file through your roles. That is what info forced level. So info means generally PRPC will do. If you want to do the information level of logging by yourself using an activity, then you have to go for info force. These are different log level settings. What is the need of logging? Can you tell me what is the need of logging? What is the purpose of logging? Logging purpose enti? What is the purpose of logging? So you want to know the details about the transactions which are running, then you have to log it. Okay, that is the purpose. Log files are most important. This is the way to perform exception handling in the act using an activity. It is not only property set. Suppose I am using connect soap. Connect soap will fail sometimes. At the end of connect soap step jump, I can click on that on exception, jump to latest step label and specify the label. There I can do the logging and then show display harness, something I can do. This is the activity level. We're going to perform the logging. This is clear, everyone? Now coming to connector rules. How to perform exception handling in connector rules. We have connector rules, right? Created. See, you can do in two ways. One, while calling the connector, you can do exception handling. At the activity jump, you can do exception handling. In the connector also, you can do exception handling. Class enti? So in the connector rule also exception handling mechanism is there. Error handling. See, there is an OTP error handler flow that is already been called. Connection problem. See, connection problem flow. See, whenever there is any exception, suppose server is down or some exception happened from the service side. We are calling a service, there is an issue. Service is down or service has written some exceptional cases data. Those are exceptional situations. When you call exception handler flow in the OTB exception handler flow, connection problem flow, within the error handling here in connect soap rule, this will be executed. There is a timeout also specified. Okay, now when it executes, it will look at the issue. It has OTP functionality. See, there is an OTP property available. The property is PX HTTP response code. What do you mean by HTTP response code? Do you know what is HTTP response code means? Can you tell me one HTTP response code? 404. What do you mean by 404? Server not found. See, when you are working with connectors from the vendor, you will get many codes like this. Vendor will give you a document which states the list of codes and the descriptions for that. So he will ask you, these are the exceptional situations you may expect from us. So accordingly, based on the code, you have to do the exception handling. Whatever the code is. If it is 404, so whatever the exception, it will execute the flow. When it executes the flow, it will go to decision chain. If it is 404 means, what is that? Let me show you. Server not found, right? Server is down. PX HTTP response code is resource unavailable. Server is down. 404. Then it will execute this side. Other than resource unavailable, any other exceptions. Resource is available, but exceptions. It will proceed this way. Whatever the way it proceeds, programming will be more or less similar. It will go for wait for retry. So in the connect soap, when you call a connection problem flow, it will execute connection problem flow. In the connection problem flow, it has wait for retry. So this has one work basket. This assignment has one work basket that is called incomplete connections. So your work orbit will move to another work basket now. The work basket is incomplete connections. Incomplete connection work basket will hold all the assignments which are failed in the connection. You want to go ahead and manually try it, or you want to? So first thing is it will auto try. Also, this assignment has a service level agreement, SLA. See, open this SLA, retry connection SLA. This SLA will have a goal time of 30 seconds, deadline time of 2 minutes, pass deadline time of 10 minutes. Means after 30 seconds, it will execute an activity. What is the activity? Run activity means execute activity on the retry connection activity. So retry connection activity purpose is to try the connection again. So this connect soap, what you have done connection, it has failed, server is down. After 30 seconds, it will again try the connection. Again, deadline, it will go to deadline. At deadline also same activity is called. Deadline 2 minutes. Again 2 minutes is breaching, it will again retry connection one more time. Pass the deadline, 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it again retry one more time. So you can give n number of intervals at pass deadline. By default, it has given 3. So total 1, 2 plus 3, 5 times. If your connection failed, it will move to incomplete connection work basket plus system in the background will retry for 5 times. I want to change it to 7 times. Can I change? What should I do? This interval I have to mention. So 5 times is fair enough, I believe. So now, after 5 times it has retried, still connection is not happening. Then what will be done? So nothing will happen in the background. Processing will be stopped and it will be there in incomplete connections work basket. Look at here. At this assignment only it will be there. Now, so after that you have to find out the issue and you have to fix the issue, or they have to open the server, bring the server up, or maybe issue is from your end. You have to correct the issue. You have fixed the issue. Once you fix the issue, automatically case will not move. What will happen? What will happen? It will be there on same assignment incomplete connections work basket. So as an operator, for your work group, you have incomplete connection work basket is assigned. You go to work basket, access the case, open the case, submit that. There should be a flow action or not? What is the flow action? Resume problem flow. Means it will resume again. So look at here, this flow action, it will be there, submit. No need to bother about what is there. See, it will go to resume problem flow. You go ahead with the activity. This is utility share. Now what is happening? It is setting something and it is setting Java and it is calling restart the problem flow. Again, it is going to restart the problem flow. When it restarts the problem flow, now server is up or the issue is fixed, right? Now it will go this direction. Start the flow. So open the flow. Again, I do not want to explain everything here. I'll tell you what happens exactly. So here, I'm sorry, hang on. See, okay, just come back. So it has tried 5 times, issue has not been fixed. Okay. Now after that, you have fixed the issue. So when you fix the issue, you have to go to this one. What is that? This assignment, manually incomplete connection work basket. What you have to do is, you have to do cancel the assignment. This assignment is no more required. You have to cancel the assignment. If you feel issue is fixed, you have to cancel the assignment. You have cancelled the assignment. Once the assignment is cancelled, the subflow is called as part of the processing, right? It will go back to processing where it has been called. It will be resuming the main flow. So your processing will happen. Now again, it will go back to where processing has been started. It is going to again make the connection. Connection is successful, it will proceed forward. Connection fails, again it will come here. Okay, so that is how it works. See, suppose you do not want to cancel the assignment, you want to retry again, auto retry. You just click on wait for retry, it will go to again restart this problem flow, again it will retry, same thing will happen again. That is another process. So generally, if the issue is fixed, you will cancel that assignment, it will go to resume the existing main flow where you are exactly. So that is how connection problem flow works. Now, while calling the connect soap role or any connector role, you have this connection problem flow that can be called. Connect SQL also, you have error tab is there, connection problem flow you can call. While calling RDB list, at the jump step you can do exception handling and you can mention connection problem flow. While calling connect soap, at connect soap jump step you can do exception handling and this flow also you can call. So when you mention connection problem flow alone, connection problem flow will be executed. When you mention activity step alone, activity step will be executed. Jump. This is how exception handling will be done. When you mention both of these exception handling. So connect soap I have done, exception handling I am doing at jump, plus also I am calling connection problem flow in the connect soap rule. I have mentioned 2 ways of exception handling. So always activity will take the priority. Connection problem flow will be ignored and activity level exception handling will take the priority. This is most important. This is clear, everyone? So this is how exception handling will be done. Now when you are doing exception handling in the activity, what is the logging that you have to do? You have to do some logging, right? The logging, what you have to do is, you need to learn some of the predefined properties. See, in the error handling itself, they have given py status message, py status value. These properties in the log messages I have given, right, some message. Instead of that, you can add properties also. Property, if you give the property which are the message is holding for the property, that will be written in the log files. You can use these properties. Apart from this, there are some important properties which are available in false tab. Here, py soap fault. The details about some of the details about what is the reason that is failed will be assigned to this property. Also, fault code, fault reason, again fault details, some of other internal properties. All these properties you mentioned there in the log messages, property 1 plus property 2, all the messages will be written over there. This is clear, everyone? So you can either write your own messages or you can refer from a property. That is the use of false tab here in connector rules. Everyone clear with this exception handling and connectors? Now, let's go to services exception handling. In case of services, how the exception handling will be done? So go ahead here to the service. So services will have false tab for exception handling mechanism. Okay, let me open directly here. Hang on. In case of services, see, service will get a request from third party vendor. So there is no way that you do exception handling at the activity. Internal service processing, internally service is processing. Some issues are there. How to do the exception handling? Now, you have to use the false tab in case of services. The purpose of false tab in services is to do the exception handling. In connector, false tab will hold the properties related to exception details. In case of services, false tab is for exception handling. Now, you can call a when rule, some when rule. See, user has sent a win number, let's say. You have received a win number, but win number has only 5 digits. Actually, it has to be 6 digits. Now, this is nothing like a processing exception. It is like a data that has been sent is an exception. Now, generally, when the user is sending a request in happy case, I am sending a response of XML stream that is with the data and all. Now, when you send the same response, data will be available for the tags. Will the data will be available? Empty tags will be there, right? In the response, empty data, because actually win001 is there, 002 is there, 3 is there. He has sent win01 instead of 001. This is the case where you find the data has been sent wrong. Now you have to give some. So suppose if you send the same response, user can understand service is not giving the response, but sending this response is not correct. What response you have to send is, you have to send a different response that says the data which you have provided is invalid. It has only 5 digits. It should be 6 digits. Like this, there can be a number of cases with the data, or maybe a number of cases with the processing that you are doing, that you can handle on your own in your activity itself. Now, go to false tab and write a when condition. What is the condition? This condition says input data invalid. Maybe 5 digits, 6 digits, or something is missing in the input data. Something input data invalid when condition you have written, finding out all the conditions written in the when rule. And you call here map from XML stream, and what is the stream rule? You write some stream rule. The stream rule you have to design to have a message. That message is input data format is invalid, let's say. Now, while you are processing your service request, you'll get the input data, right? You write a validation. Validation has failed. When condition is satisfied now, for one of the reasons this when condition is satisfied, immediately service rule will pick this stream rule. Service rule is going to pick this stream rule. This stream rule will be sent as a response. When the condition is satisfied, condition is not satisfied, regular response. So this stream rule will be picked and sent as a response. Now the response that will be sent to the customers is input data invalid. Now customer has come to know exactly, okay, the data which I have sent is invalid. I have to check that. Customer and he will check and then respond. This is clear, everyone? This is the way to do exception handling in case of services. It is not only one stream. You add multiple when conditions, you give different streams. One time when condition satisfying invalid input data. That is that stream. So the next time maybe different thing. You are expecting integer value. Customer has sent a text property. So text property is being sent expecting integer. That is a different response, giving more clear idea about the. Similarly, in a service file rule also you have false tab. Every service rule will have false tab. Now let's understand through service file. I'll put it forward a question. Everyone clear with this service rules exception handling? Let's say user has placed a file. You are reading the file. The data in the file is wrong. Something wrong. Now you have to notify the user saying that your data is wrong. How would you notify? Processing has failed, right? You have to tell the customer back processing is failed for this reason. How would you notify? Chepandi. File is holding data related to transaction. It is not holding any data related to, let's say, user. Then in case of file listener, how would you do exception handling? File is placed, user's work is done, you are processing the file, something has happened wrong. For that user, you have to notify back. So there is something, whatever it is, there is an issue in processing because of this so something, and you have to notify the user through an email, let's say. So how to implement it on your own? Chapandi. So you need to read the email addresses of the requester from the, maybe from the file you have to read. Let's say from the file, if you have the data, so just read the data, and then this is the ID for which you want to send email notification. If an exception happens, you send email notification and stop the processing. Suppose if data is not there, then suppose user has placed a file, there is an issue at your end, some issue at your end. User is waiting for the response. He did not get any response. He has to know whether processing has been done or not. Any issues or something. Then So always in case of files processing and all, email integration will be useful in order to notify back the customers. Somehow you have to get the customer details to notify them back, either in the same file or maybe something else, some other format. Okay, like this exception handling can be done in different rules. In connectors, you are going to use connection problem flow at an activity level. In services, you have to use the fault stack to define the when keys and call different stream roles. The condition satisfied, that stream will be sent accordingly. That is the way to do exception handling of processing during the services and all. So this is about exception handling and logging and log level settings. Performance analyzer tool is there, PAL. So if you go to performance of the application, it can be performance can be analyzed by using a tool called performance analyzer. So where performance analyzer will give the readings, init readings and delta readings, something like that.
This conference will now be recorded.
See, in data pages, if you are calling a connector or something, so connector level, there is a connection problem flow, it will work. If you are executing activity, data page level, how would you go and do the exception handling? In data page, if you want to do exception handling, post load processing, you can call an activity. So after everything is loaded onto data page, there is an issue, let's say, on the data with the data page. How would you handle that exception? During processing, data page activity or connector rules, wherever you have exception handling, you can do. Processing is completed. So data page, some garbage data has come. That is also exception situation, right? How would you handle that? Is post load processing, you have to create an activity. So this activity, what you create here, so it can be anything. It can be any type, leave it. Just I called it. Here, you have to do your exception handling, whether based on the data, error messages that is available with the data. Accordingly, you can implement the exception handling mechanism. So in the data pages, exception handling will be done at the post load processing activity. Okay, that is what you have to mention. They will ask mostly. Okay, this is clear, everyone. So this is how we can perform exception handling in different ways at activity level, data page at post load processing using post load processing activity, connector rules using connection problem flow, and we can use the properties that are available in fault stack, and service rules and all. In the fault stack itself, we can define the stream rules accordingly by defining the when keys. This is how exception handling can be done in PRs.